What's up, humans, and welcome back to Small Talks, where I take my own life experience and just a little bit of research and I answer real-life questions and issues. Last time we talked about how to get through stressful situations, and since that was a rather touchy subject, heavy subject, I figured we could talk about something a little bit more lighthearted today. I want to preface this with the fact that I am not an expert in any of the fields that I talk about, so my advice should never replace that of a true professional. However, maybe what I say can open your mind to something new or help you in a way that you didn't expect. So what I was thinking about is something I've struggled with for the majority of my life until probably a few years ago when I had an epiphany. I've always struggled with going to sleep when I went to bed. I would lay there trying to fall asleep and just would toss and turn, just unable to sleep. Even once I had the ability to look up tips and tricks on the internet, I still would lay there looking into the dark, unable to get to sleep. It wasn't until I learned about a trick that people use in order to lucid dream that I was finally able to really get to sleep. Now, for those of you who don't know what lucid dreaming is basically when you realize that you're asleep and you from then on have complete control over what happens in your dream. I've only had a few of these, but for the ones that I have been pretty crazy and pretty much stuff that only happens in dreams. But anyways, the trick that worked for me is this. First, you get into a comfortable position, naturally. And then next, what you do is you don't move. You don't move at all. You don't wiggle your toe, you don't wiggle your fingers, you don't move your hips, you don't scratch that itch that developed on your ankle, you don't do anything. You stay completely still. Now, you just have to stay completely still, and then the second step is the harder step, or third step, my bad, is the harder step. And what it is you have to let your mind drift. You let your mind think about anything and everything, and you don't try to control it and try to focus or anything. You have to let your mind go down rabbit trails, and once you realize that you're going down these rabbit trails and you're falling asleep, you have to be careful. You can't let yourself kind of wake back up, because your natural inclination when you realize that you're going to sleep is to wake back up. You have to let yourself drift, and slowly, you'll drift out to sleep. Soon enough, and you'll find that you're fast asleep. Now, it may seem like a lot, but I promise this has worked 100% of the time for me. Like, I haven't ever found anything that's worked better. Now, something else that I use is something that plays into the chemical part of your brain and your body. And what it's called is melatonin. Now, you've probably seen this when you go and get your one-a-day vitamins or your cold and flu medicine. And it's actually pretty cheap. It's like $5, a little under $5-ish, for about 2 months' supply. Now, I know what you're saying. I don't want to put a substance into my body. I don't want to develop a dependency on something like this. Well, melatonin isn't like that. What melatonin is something that your body naturally produces when it gets dark, when you've been awake for a long time, and basically on a regular cycle that tells you, hey, it's time to go to sleep. It's not something that you build a dependency on, because even though you can take it in supplement form, when you take it in supplement form, your body doesn't slow down production, it doesn't reduce production, it maintains the healthy production, and then once you stop taking it, you don't need it to go to sleep, basically, as long as you have that natural production of melatonin. And it's funny because, I mean, my mom taught me this years ago, and I argue with her about how I don't want to put anything into my body, just like you're probably thinking now. But basically, what I use it now for is to, if I am going to sleep at a different time, or if I'm changing my circadian rhythm, to kind of tell my body, hey, it's time to go to sleep. And yeah, so I guess thanks, Mom, for telling me about this, and I'm sorry I didn't listen to you when you first suggested it to me. Now, that's my take on what you can do in order to fall asleep. What does the research say? Well, the Division of Sleep and Medicine, the Division of Sleep Medicine at Harvard Medical School gives you 12 tips in order to get better sleep. Now, tip 1 is to avoid caffeine, nicotine, and other chemicals that interfere with your sleep. So basically, all of these keep your mind active and don't let you get to sleep naturally. Alcohol, you may say, helps you fall asleep pretty easy, but what it does is it doesn't help you stay asleep. Now, tip 2 is to turn your bedroom into a sleep-inducing environment. Now, pretty much, it's just keep it dark and relatively silent as it's more comfortable and at a more comfortable temperature since it's on the cool side and everything. Tip 3 is to establish a pre-sleep routine. Do something like read a book, take a bath, something that's relaxing that doesn't cause stress, which keeps you alert. Now, tip 4 is to go to sleep when you're truly tired. It's pretty self-explanatory, but that's where I was saying the melatonin can come in, and you can use it to help your mind get to that state of tiredness. Tip 5 is to don't be a nighttime clock watcher. Doing this stresses you out and releases cortisol, which keeps you up. Tip 6 is to use light to your advantage. When you want to stay awake, keep it light. When you want to go to sleep, keep it dark. Tip 7 is to keep your internal clock set on a consistent sleep schedule. Remember that circadian rhythm that I mentioned? That's your internal clock telling you that it's time to be awake and when it's time to sleep. Setting and adhering this helps you to get more sleep and deeper sleep. Now, tip 8 is to nap early or not at all. If you've already spent time sleeping, then you probably don't need it anymore, basically. Tip 9 is to lighten up on evening meals. If you have intestinal issues or if you have pain or gas, it might be harder to get to sleep. And tip 10 is to balance fluid intake. If you are thirsty or you have a dry throat, then you might find it harder in order to get to sleep. Tip 11 is to exercise early. Basically, you produce hormones that keep you awake when you're exercising, and giving yourself ample time in order to recover from this helps you get to sleep sooner. Tip 12, finally tip 12, it's to follow through, to keep up on this, to actually continue working at trying to go to sleep early. Because the more that you go to sleep on an actual schedule, and the more sleep that you get, the more that you will find that it is actually easier to maintain this sleep cycle. And that's it. Nothing I said is truly difficult. Everything just requires you to actually keep up with it and stay on a consistent basis. Now, if none of this truly helps, something I would like you to do is to go to a medical professional, because there are actual medical and health issues that can be causing you to not be able to sleep. Well, thanks everyone for watching. I hope I helped you with your sleeplessness, or maybe if you do get enough sleep, helped you get even more and better sleep. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of life's problems resolved. And if you have a question that you want to ask me and you want me to answer, or if you have a suggestion for my channel, please comment it or hit me up on social media. I hope to see you sometime soon. Thanks for joining me for Small Talks.